And then share a little bit about how do you address those things? How do you solve those problems?
Well, stress management, you're right. 70% of illnesses are stress related. I have a lot of stats on that as well. And 60 to 90% of all of our healthcare provider visits are related to something around stress. And so when we look at that number as compared to only 3% of people seek stress management help, I help with stress management. So I really go out to talk with people, and often they just find me to talk about how do I manage the stress that's in my life? How do I manage the stress that's in my career, my business? Because it's impacting and infiltrating everything in my life. So I really help with stress management. Overall, we look at business and life, and then we start digging into a little deeper how we can create more fulfillment in the areas that are priorities to them.
And you mentioned you have sort of a 5-step process. The first one is a little bit of finding about where you're at today, right? You want to walk us through that?
Yeah, the first one is operate with total integrity, and that's looking at where are you right now, and you have to look at this with real honesty and not only honoring your commitments and being really honest, but you can't come into this with rose-colored glasses thinking like, oh, it's okay, everybody has a little debt, or oh, it's okay, everybody's on some blood pressure medicine. You have to come into this with a real honest approach of where am I right now, and what is frustrating about it, what's irritating about it, why is this agitating me, and what do I want to fix, how do I want to change it? And so having the clarity of where you are now and sort of where you want to go, but operating with total integrity in each different aspect of your life, that really gives us a good starting point. And if we're not operating in total integrity in business and in life, then none of the other steps are going to work.
One of the places I find with clients from an integrity standpoint, they'll make a commitment to a client, they'll do everything they can to make it happen, but the one person that they shortchange is themselves, right? Those rose-colored glasses that people say it's okay, it's all right, and it's really not, right? But basically they're just making a bunch of excuses, and you're saying, hey, we're pulling the rug out of those excuses. We're saying that's not how this works, right?
Well,
You've got to get.
When did it become okay to go to a doctor, have a diabetes or blood pressure issue or heart issue or anything, and the diagnosis is sentencing you to a life on medication? And you're okay with that. When did that become okay in our society? Like, I really think there are so many elements that we need to take a different look at and a different perspective, from the energy and the time, as well as our health issues, and as well as just getting clarity on where you really want to go. What's that secret desire in you that you really want to make happen in your life before it's done?
Yeah.
This is the second half. If it's a game, we're at halftime, and this is the second half. What are you going to do with it?
Well, the second half can be special.
Totally.
It can be spectacular. It can be better than the first half.
Yes.
It's not over. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know what I want to do. He's like, I'm just going to settle down and relax. And I'm like, wow, man, you're like 50 years old. You could do all kinds of things.
Yeah. What's the next section? What's the next half? It could be so amazing.
He doesn't have a whole lot of financial challenges today because, he's had a good, successful career.
Right.
But, I don't know. I think he's going to work through that. We had some discussions that kind of helped him push that direction. Now, the other one, the second step is this prepare to dominate.
Prepare to dominate. Most people say create an action plan. Where are you? Where you want to get to? Create an action plan. How are you going to get there? I think that's a little BS. I think that we have to become a different person. So when you prepare to dominate, you can't operate from the same belief system and the same mindset and the same habits that you have had, because that's gotten you to this point, which is fine. But if you want to get to this point, we have to become a different person. I'm not saying drastically like change your hair color, but I'm saying, become a different person, like from how you show up in each area of your life. So we really work through what does it take to prepare to dominate in this area of your life, whether it's business, your finances, your relationships, your health, your fun, and your experiences that you're creating.
That's
like, what do you want to create? Understanding all the change that has to happen. And when you really start digging into that, like, what's the mindset? What are the beliefs? What are the beliefs we have to get rid of? What are the habits? What are the rituals? When you look at athletes and musicians and the most extraordinary people in the world that have great success, they have a certain set of habits and rituals, and they have become the person that lives that. So I help people really become prepared to dominate, become who that person needs to be before it even exists, who that person needs to be now, and then it's going to show up in your life.
Yeah, and now when those instances occur, they're prepared. They're prepared. And, some people can fly by the seat of their pants and do fairly well. Most of us can't. But everybody will be better off when they're more prepared to reach those situations or deal with those situations when they occur.
I have a story. Do we have time for a quick story? Quick story?
Yeah.
So my friend, Bo Eason, he is a determined, amazing former NFL player, amazing speaker, Broadway playwright. He has just done amazing things in his life. So Bo Eason tells this story, and I will summarize it, probably not in any way that he can tell it, but I'll give you a brief synopsis. Bo Eason had prided himself on being the best player on his team, and he was always the first one on the field, the last one to leave practice, and always was preparing. So he got traded to the 49ers, and when he was traded, he went out on the field for practice, and whoa, there was somebody else out there. Jerry Rice was already out on the field. He's like, first one on the field is the best player. Okay. So a little later in practice, they line up, and the quarterback is going to throw the ball, and each of the players have to run and catch the ball. Really simple drill. First player up, a rookie. He runs, kind of half runs down the field, cuts left, catches the ball, brings it back, lobs it. I think at that time it was Joe Montana. Lobs it to Joe Montana. And then gets back in line. Second player up, he's a rookie, kind of runs halfway down the field, cuts right, catches the ball, same thing. Jerry Rice gets up, gets in his stance. Boom! He is down the field in a flash. Cuts left, catches the ball, turns around, runs all the way to the other end and scores a touchdown. In practice, this is what he does. This is how he shows up. Comes back and throws the ball back to Joe Montana. So after practice, Bo is asking Jerry Rice, like, dude, what was that? Like, what was that? Why do you do that? And Jerry Rice said simply, I am preparing myself. Every time these hands touch the leather of a football, this body goes across the touchdown line. Like, that's how I prepare myself.
And he's
preparing. So he's preparing to dominate. And in practice, he's not showing up running halfway down the field. So I ask, where are you running halfway down the field? Or at a half jog and kind of cutting left and kind of showing up? Or are you showing up and really dominating? Like, have you prepared yourself to really dominate? So I love that story from Bo Eason and he tells it way better than I do. But just to give you a short synopsis, it's a great story because it talks about how you prepare in practice. He shows up in that way in every area.
Dominate. We got the plan. We got the change. What's next?
So operate with total integrity and prepare to dominate. Once you're clear about who you are and where you want to go, and you have prepared to dominate, now we need to create a playbook. Nobody gives us a playbook on life, right? So I have created a secret playbook that is your tool to create success in each different aspect of your life. So the secret playbook, it is no big wheel, and it's not coloring, and it's not a lot of big lists of things that you need to figure out. It is so simple. It is 4 things. You need to play offense, you need to play defense, you need to have some special teams, and you need to find a way that you create goals, success goals in each area of your life. It's really simple to navigate, and it's really simple to create. I help my clients go through that and having their own secret playbook, because it isn't a one-size-fits-all. We're all unique. We're all different.
Well, you start with a template of the playbook, but it's actually it's customized to the
unique
actual individual.
Yeah, it's your secret playbook. Like, we work with you on that together to design this playbook that it is your plays on your life that is unique to you. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Okay, so I got the playbook. What's next?
Next is leveraging your time.
Everybody has such trouble with that one. And the last one?
The last one is working with a coach.
Working with a coach.
Yeah.